Hi, in this video I would like to debate some, you might call it, politics of self, politics of me as a living, breathing organism, um, and some of what I find uh, looking at my life before I started to investigate myself, and how I look at, you might call it politics or economy after that, and later on in my process. And if you look at the economy of this world, I mean, it's obviously a capitalistic system. I mean, either we call it capitalistic or communistic or whatever word we call it, it's all about the money, obviously. I mean, if countries try to do otherwise than what the leading countries do in their free market capitalistic way, seemingly a free market, if other countries try to do otherwise than what is the mainstream, the countries are ostracized and, bombed and invaded if they choose to go other ways economically than what is the correct capitalistic way. So that have been our reality for a very, very long time. And, you know, if we look at what drives this world economy of capitalism or money system, you can call it the money system of this world, it is very obvious to see that what gives the most money outcome, what makes the most money in our world today is typically the polluting oil that we pump out, that we frack out. That is the blood of this earth. We frack and pump and extract polluting oil that is, creating insanely amounts of dying and death and destruction and pollution and enormous amounts of problems and abuse. Still, we as one humanity, as earth, as people on life on earth, make this oil production into um, into something that gives us the most money, the most value, you might say, the most cash, the most uh, flow of currency. So, and there are other branches which also are similar to oil, like the war industry. The war industry. I mean, and there are also others like the drug industry, the sex industry. I mean, there are these type of typical industries that are the most hurtful to life. These type of industries that hurt life the most They give us, humanity, in this system of money, the most outflow of money. So, I mean, the money that we have in our pockets today comes from this, comes from the abuse of life. The money we have in our pockets comes from Mother Earth bleeding, comes from war industry, comes from drug industry, sex industry, all these things that are draining and ruining and hurtful to life. That and you know, until if you look at that in a mind perspective, that until we as humanity can learn and understand, and from learning and understanding who we are as representants, as representing who we as humans are, as representing that money system, that abuse of life, as individuals, one of us individually, you know, we must start to I mean, people obviously don't care about this. If people really did care about this, if people really honestly did take that responsibility individually, we wouldn't have the world we have, with all the commotion and all the disturbance and all the pollution, etc., that is going on, that have been going on. If we as individuals can look in the freaking mirror and see, okay, okay, I can see that point now. I can see within myself the points of abuse that we as humanity, all of us together have allowed to play out, to grow money. Okay, okay, I can look in the mirror, in my bathroom mirror, and I can see, okay, there's that cold-hearted, spiteful, evil me that allow for me to have money, from this these branches of death, of hurting life. Okay, I can see in my mirror. I can see in my mirror. There are these parts, these particles, these elements, these personalities of mine that I have. I have these personalities within my mirror, reflection of my mirror, that is a direct representation of such abuse. So that is being serious. That is taking responsibility for oneself and one's own living in this money system. For then, obviously, when one realizes one's own part that one has been playing, for then to become responsible and say, okay, I want to change this shit. Obviously, we need to change the further capitalistic money system and how we view as economy and what we look upon as value. So, you know, as much as people don't care, I think that they don't bother or don't want to take the time to really look into self, to see in the mirror, see in one's own mirror, the reflection of self, and to see the personalities, the nastiness, that one is having within one's mind, within one's being living, that is direct representatives of the abuse of life that have been going on for a very long time, each and every single one of us. Now, I used to not give that much care. I used to just party and just think that, it's not my problem, I don't give a shit. I used to be a guy who would not care that much about, you know, politics or money or self or responsibility at least. So, but um, I would just be like flowing through life, not caring about life, just enjoying, focusing on my positive polarity, my enjoyment, my um, good feeling, addicted to the good, positive, high emotion, high feeling, and you just flow around in my life in that, not giving a rat's ass about real, real responsibility for self and life. So I had to crash pretty darn hard to really see, look in the mirror and become, and to realize this point that all of us together are equally as important in this matter, in this question of self-responsibility. Within taking 100% self-responsibility, one is looking at, one is looking at um, a um, unlimited empowering potential. One is then looking at a unlimited empowerment potential if one is able to fully take into oneself that self-responsibility for self as life, as all, as one. So, you know, when I started my process of walking my way through my mind and investigating everything and picking it apart and learning it to know in detail, all of it, and forgiving it all in detail, all of it. When I could find elements within my mind that were not pleasant, that were rather nasty or cruel, or you might call it evil, things in my mind that were representing me that I would suppress and deny. I would suppress for that, I would deny for that, and push those things away from me because I would just like to party and not be responsible for myself. But when I started my process, I would pick up all these scattered pieces, elements, memories, mind constructs, and forgive it and embrace myself as those constructs, as those memories, as those thoughts, as all that nastiness. And I would work on it with forgiving myself for that until it had no more possessive power over me. Until I could say that I am equal and one to this point. It has no friction, it has no reaction within me. So this is a call for anybody out there who, you know, it is that idea of realizing that we are all, either you live in Berlin or in South Africa or in Brazil or in China or in New Zealand or wherever you are on the face of this earth, we are all equally responsible for all that takes place on face of this earth, no matter where you are, no matter what skin color you have, no matter what education you have, no matter how much money you have, no matter how bad you have been, how much you've been drinking, how much you've been hitting your dog, how much you have been doing bad stuff or seemingly good stuff. I mean, no matter who you are, no matter how much yoga you have done, no matter how much meditation you have done, no matter if you're a student or a soldier or a banker or a teacher or homeless or poor or rich, no matter who you are, we are all equally responsible for life on this earth. All of us. Realizing that is quite breathtaking, quite stunning, you might say. And it makes me face in my process, it makes me see that, okay, if I can come to terms with this and really stand as that, if I can stand as that without being wavery or reactive or unstable or go into addictions or behavior or blah blah blah, go into constructs and polarities and reactions of my mind, and rather find stability, sanity, breath, balance. If I can stand as that point of all as one are equally responsible for all that takes place on this Mother Earth, then I have a unlimited empowerment potential to create, to learn, to expand myself as life force, which is quite a cool fact, you might call it. And you know, self-forgiveness have been a very cool and supportive and vital part of my um, learning process, to really forgive. For me, it's not that God forgives me, it's that I forgive myself. I embrace myself. I become one and equal with all my memories, with all my nastiness, all the things that would make me look make me look bad, all the things that where I was acting in abuse of life, all my reactions, everything. So, you know, realizing that I am equal to you and we are all equal to each other as responsibility, and coming to terms with that is like a point of no return in a very, very good way. You might say it's like, you know, one changes if one can realize that it's not supposed to be all mind and Hollywood and Coca-Cola and addictions, and you know, there are more to life than mind and images and, you know, separation. We can be so endlessly much more and create so endlessly much a better world if we all can become responsible for ourselves and really sit down and map out clear to ourselves who we are, where we're going, where we come from, what is our purpose, what is our purpose. Can we not create utopia? I think we can. I'm not afraid of that word. I have laid behind me many parts of me that were outworn. You might call that as, every night I go to bed, to sleep, to rest, to die every night. And I rise in the morning to life. So, you know, I have ended parts of me that were abusive and destructive. So the utopia is a real uh, is a thing that we will create, heaven on earth eventually. And for me, I think the sooner the better. If we can start working on these projects or that are in real, genuine support of life, and that is going from reverse, which we have been in the abuse of life, with the war, with the oil, with the pollution, with the sex industry, with the drug industry, legal or illegal, that's intertwined. All those things, corruption, banking, taxing, all these things that haunt us, that will make us ill and that will make us sleep unwell and drive us into abuse, you know, depression and dying. So if we all can really start to support the things that we see that are genuinely best for all, that are genuinely supportive to life, if we can start to support those things, those people, those projects, those grassroots movements, those institutions, children, nature, animals, wild animals, and all sorts of life. If we can start to really sit down and learn, for instance, what equaf.com has to offer. I will leave a link to that. equaf.com, to sit down and learn something about the interdimensions, to open eyes for new frontiers, for new possibilities. I mean, if we can change ourselves the way I have, so fundamentally, from having been living in such a dismay and in opposing life, into a complete reverse of going pro-life, of taking responsibility, of doing what is best for all, of supporting life, then that is a complete shift in the cogwheels of programs and systems that will uh, shine through, you might say. So, yeah, that is some thoughts of mine today. I mean, green economy and a technology, for instance, and such a thing, green economy and technology could be cool to look at. It could be cool to entertain oneself with, but it will not change human nature. And we must all be the change we want to see in our world. A green economy, what is that about, And technology obviously will not change human nature, will it? Honestly. So these are these are strange days to me. I mean, we're standing in the changing zeitgeist, the changing waters of time. So be a voice for oneness and equality. Be a voice for responsibility for life. Be one and equal, and don't accept abuse of life. Don't accept the separation into nastiness of one's own mind. Don't accept cruelty to others. If you can, without causing more distress, avoid it. And don't accept so blindly those reactions and separation of self into um, the lesser of self. So this is a call from me here, having walked through my schizophrenic mind into sanity, balance, oneness and equality. And if I can do it, if I can fucking do it, anybody can do it, obviously. If you're up for it, if you really have the balls to take life seriously and to be responsible with self. So this is me sharing this here. Politics of me. We are all one. We are all equal. We can create a better world and share what we need to share of money, of consideration and care and all these things. It starts with self. Be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you.